Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class was a request I received online for a class that included King Pigeon Pose and King Dancer Pose. So we're going to do some flow. We're going to work into these postures. Both of these postures require really open front side of the body. So open triceps, shoulders, upper back, and quads and hip flexors. So we're going to be focusing on all of those postures to get us into our peak poses. Because these postures aren't super accessible to me, I'm going to use props. If you have props, go ahead and grab them. If you do have an actual strap, just make a loop in your strap. And then if you have 2 blocks or books, have those handy. You don't need these. These just can help us get into the full expression of the pose if we can't do it on our own. So we're going to start with a really deep shoulder opener. We're going to come into child's pose. If you don't have the props or don't want to use them, or if it's too much, just come into extended child's pose with your arms long on the mat. If you have the props and want to use them, bring your knees wide and bring your toes to touch for your child's pose legs, but then place your blocks toward the outer edges of your mat. And we're going to bring our arms long past our blocks and then rest your elbows on your blocks. Okay, and then bring the palms of your hands together and the tops of your hands to the back of your head, and then rest your forehead down on your mat. So go ahead and just move around and get yourself settled into whatever variation of this pose that feels good. If you don't have the blocks, you can still do this arm variation, just bending your elbows, taking the palms of your hands, touching your thumbs to the back of your head. The blocks just get you a little bit deeper into it. Connect to your breath. Start to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. Engage your Ujjayi pranayama. Breathe in and out through your nose. Start to listen to the sound and the quality of your breath as it flows through your nose and down into your belly. Last full breath in your variation of child's pose. And release your arms, release your blocks, and press up to tabletop position. Start to move through some cat-cows to warm up your spine with your breath. Inhaling, coming into cow pose, lifting your tailbone and the crown of your head. Exhale, rounding into cat. Again. Last round. Come back to tabletop position. And we're going to move into spinal balance. So extend your right arm forward, left leg back, hold here, level your hips and shoulders, engage your core. As we continue to open the front side of our bodies, let's bend the left leg, take your hand, reach around for the top of your foot. Press your foot into your hand and start to lift through the crown of your head as you lift your toes up toward the ceiling. Keep the back of your neck open, and then just continue to follow the arch in your spine with the crown of your head. So we're not dropping our head forward or throwing it back, but keeping it right in line with our back bend. Come back to spinal balance. Release your right hand to the mat. Now take your left leg to the left. Align your left toes, or left heel behind your left toes. Tuck your right toes under. Press your hip towards your heel. Walk your hands forward. One more breath. And come back to tabletop position. Take spinal balance on the other side. Extend your left arm forward and your right leg back. Level your hips and shoulders. Your head stays in line with the spine, so right now your gaze should be down at the floor. Bend your right leg, take your foot from the inside. Start to press your foot into your hand, and then just follow the arc in your spine with the crown of your head. So as you start to back bend, lift through the crown of your head. And press your toes up toward the ceiling. And open your shoulder as you kick your foot into your hand. Return to spinal balance. Place your left hand on the floor. Right foot comes to the right. Align your heel behind your toes. And then tuck your left toes under, hips to heel. Walk your hands forward, release your head down. One more full breath. And come back to tabletop position. Tuck all 10 toes under, downward facing dog. Settle into your down dog, finding either a static hold or movement, whatever your body's asking for today. Release all the tension from your neck, letting your head dangle, gazing back toward the back of your mat for 3 more breaths. Lift your right leg high. As you breathe out, bring your knee to your nose. See if you can make contact. Round your spine. Inhale, come back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee toward your nose, and then step your right foot between your hands. Release your left knee down onto the floor, and then take your hands onto your knee, interlace your fingers, press down on your thigh, and then open through your chest. Again, the head is going to track with the spine. And release. Bring your left hand down toward the floor, heel toe your right foot out to the edge of your mat, and then bring your right toes out at an angle and reach that right hand around for the left foot. Start to draw the left foot in, and then open your right shoulder. If your ankle is healthy, you can roll onto the outer edge of that right foot and just keep your toes in line with your heel. Gentle release. Take your left foot back toward the floor, heel toe your right foot toward the front of your mat. Lift your left knee off the floor and step back, plank pose. Hold in plank. Breathe in and breathe out, lower down. We're going to continue to open the chest. So take the tops of your feet flat to the floor, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your chest off the floor, press your hands towards your heels, press the tops of the feet flat into the floor. Now lift your feet off the floor, and again, reach your fists towards your heels. And release. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and then slowly press up to a plank. Press back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Lift your left leg high. Bring your knee to touch your nose. See if you can make contact, round your spine, gauge your core. Three-legged dog. Set your left foot between your hands. Bring your right knee to the floor. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, flip your palms down, press into the top of your thigh, and then start to take a little back bend here. Head following the spine. So even if you're just right here, you want your head neutral. If you're pressing back, you start to maybe lift your gaze. And release. Heel toe your left foot to the edge of your mat. Toes face out at an angle. Your right hand stays on the floor. Bend your right leg. Take your left hand and reach around for your right foot. Same thing on this side. If you'd like to, you can roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Draw your right heel in. Open your shoulder. Release. Come back to low lunge. Plant your hands, step back plank pose. And this time lower to Chaturanga. Hold. Press up plank. You can always modify with knees on the floor. Come to Chaturanga, hold. Halfway down, 90 degrees in your arms. Upward facing dog. Roll your shoulders open, down away from your ears, lift through the crown of your head, and then press your way back to downward facing dog. One breath. We're going to take 5 rounds of sun salutation, breath to movement, just getting our body nice and warm, and then we'll continue to open it up some more. So on your next breath in, come to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, release your air, come forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Chaturanga, release your air. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Come forward on your breath in. Forward fold, exhale. Rise high, tall mountain. Forward fold. Monkey. And Chaturanga. Dog. Down dog. Follow your breath. One here. Complete your exhale. Come forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And Chaturanga. Upward facing dog as you breathe in, and downward facing dog as you release your air. One breath. Come forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain. Forward fold. Monkey. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe in. Let it go. On your own, come forward. Listen to your breath, go at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, come forward to plank. And then keep your right hand as your foundation. And then glue your knees together, bend your left leg. Hold. Make your way toward side plank. Keep that leg bent, your knee resting lightly. And then lightly step your left foot on the floor, opening up to Wild Thing. So lift your hips, release your head back, but keep space in your neck. If it feels like too much pressure in your neck, take your hand to the back of your head, elbow points up, support the weight of your head in your hand. Reach your left arm up. Make your way through Chaturanga. Roll forward and down. Upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Glue your knees together. Lift your right leg, your right foot off the floor. Keep your knees touching. Hold. Roll onto your left side. Keep your leg bent. Very little pressure here on your knees, okay? They're connected, but they're not resting. And place your right foot on the floor. Wild Thing, lift your hips. Look back. Keep space in the back of your neck. Option, again, to take your hand to the back of your head. Support the weight of your head, elbow faces up. And make your way to Chaturanga. On your next breath in, lift your right leg high. As you breathe out, step your right foot between your hands. And then inhale, bring your hands all the way up for Crescent Lunge. Hold here. On your inhale, reach your arms high. On your exhale, dip your knee toward the floor and then cactus your arms. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, warrior two. Bring your right arm up and over for cow face arms. Bring your left hand behind. Clasp your hands behind your back. If cow face arms aren't accessible, you can hold your elbow with your left hand, your right elbow with your left hand. One last breath. As you exhale, release your hands, come into warrior two. Inhale, come up to 5-pointed star. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart, sink down into your squat. Let's find movement here, so reach your hands down and then circle them around and up. Connect the palms above your head. And exhale, sink down. Scoop it up, inhale. One more, hands to your heart, sink down, flip your hands down, scoop it up, inhale. And then bring your heels behind your toes. Bring your hands behind your back for another chest expansion. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. So maybe your hands are resting on your tailbone, that's okay. Just start to lift them. Maybe you can lift them all the way up and over. Release the crown of your head toward the floor. And no tension in your neck. Just a nice big stretch through your chest and your shoulders. Exhale. And on your inhale, come all the way up. Take it back to 5-pointed star. And then bring your hands through heart center, sink down into your squat, and then release your hands onto your knees. Dip your left shoulder in, look to the right. Come back through center, breathe in. Dip your right shoulder in, look to the left. Come back, sink back down. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale, half-moon pose. Now, half-moon pose, again, focusing on our front body openers. The option here is for Chapasana or sugarcane pose. You can take your left foot, kick it back, take the foot from the outside with your left hand, and then start to kick back behind you. So you're opening your left thigh, your left hip, your left shoulder, and your chest. Halfmoon, low lunge. Step back plank and chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale, and downward facing dog, exhale. On your next breath in, lift your left leg high. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. And then we're gonna open the chest again. So dip your knee down toward the ground, just to hover. Open your chest. So draw your arms into a goalpost formation. Really squeeze your shoulder blades toward one another. Keep your chin off your chest. And then come back through crescent lunge. Warrior two, open up. Find a nice strong warrior two. Find your alignment in your legs with your left knee over your left ankle. And then we'll take it into cow face arms. So left arm up and over, right arm behind for the clasp. If you can't take the clasp and keep your alignment in your spine, Release your clasp and take your right hand on top of your left elbow. Release your cow face arms. Come back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale, half moon. So stepping onto your left foot, stack your shoulders and your hips. Hold here, half moon, or sugar cane. Bend your right leg, take your foot from the outside, and start to press your foot back behind you, as opposed to up. Okay, so you're creating a nice C shape in your spine. Let the kick of your foot open your shoulder. Feel the expansion in the front side of your body. Come back to Halfmoon Pose. Lightly step back to low lunge. And then vinyasa. Plank, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, look forward past your hands and step or float through to a seat. We're going to take reverse tabletop to continue to open up our shoulders and our chest. And this is going to be our core work as well. So find reverse tabletop first, pointing your fingers towards the front of your mat, a little bit past your shoulders, and then feet are in line with your knees, in line with your hips. On your inhale, press up, and then check to make sure now that your shoulders are aligned over your wrists, that your knees are aligned over your ankles, and then put your head in line with your spine. So as you lift, extend the crown of your head back. Keep the back of your neck open, keep the front of your throat open. Okay, take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hips between your hands to hover. So your toes are going to flex back towards your face. Stay lifted. And then come back to tabletop position. Press it up. Hips between hands. Tabletop. Bring your hips back. Again. Hips between your hands. So we're just doing double duty here. Opening the front of our body and strengthening our core. Really engage Mula Bandha, your root lock, to keep your hips lifted and your low core tightly engaged. Last time. Hover for 3, 2, 1, release. Okay, we're gonna just come over our ankles and down onto our belly. We're gonna work into half frog pose. So there's a couple options. This is another one. You can use your strap around your foot if your foot's not accessible. We're gonna start by taking our left hand to the inside of our left foot, okay? Not the outside, and you'll understand why in a moment. And you can come up onto your forearm. You can either place it lengthwise toward the front of your mat or forward. Okay, and you'll see that there's just a lot of different variations. So just kind of prepping your body. Bring your left hand to the inside, You're gonna start spinning your hand. It's gonna be a similar action to King Pigeon pose. So then your fingers are gonna point in the same direction of your toes. Okay? Now you can stay here on your forearm, or if you wanna take it more into the front line, just start to press up. So it just creates a deeper back bend, but avoid this, okay? So really keep that shoulder away from your ear, and be mindful not to lock out your elbow like I just was. We're gonna hold it here, just continuing to open up by gently pressing the foot closer toward the floor. And very gently release. And then you can just rest your right ear on the mat, arms alongside your body, and then just kind of rock your hips side to side. Take a moment to observe the difference between your left and your right side. And let's take it on the other side. So again, setting yourself up, same options, but this side could be different than the other. So you take the option that works for you. So left forearm either parallel with your mat or facing forward if you want to come up onto the palm of the hand. Bend your right leg, take your foot from the inside, not the outside, the inside. Okay, and then start to draw your foot in, and you're gonna start to rotate your hand so your fingers are gonna face in the same, ooh, I'm slippery, in the same direction as your toes, and your elbow's gonna point up. Okay, so this side is my tighter side because I had knee surgery on this knee, so that might be the case in your body, so just do what works for you, okay? And then from here, if you want, you can press up onto your left hand. Don't lock out your elbow. Keep your shoulder away from your ears. And get a nice back bend here. Just a static hold. Being patient as our body opens up. And gentle release. Rest your left ear on the floor. And you can rock your hips side to side. And then just press back for a short child's pose, just to lengthen through your spine. And release. All right, so make your way to standing. If you have a strap, need a strap, want a strap, grab it now. I'm going to talk you through a couple of variations of dancer pose, working into king dancer as well. So for dancer pose, you're going to find a steady ground through your right foot, and we'll take it on the left side first. You're going to bend your leg, and again, this is going to be taking your foot from the inside. It's really important that you take your foot from the inside because it allows your shoulder to rotate open as you kick into your hand. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. If you take it from the outside, you're going to get stuck here. If you take it from the inside, your shoulder can continue to rotate open. Okay, so really important in dancer pose. So again, let's do that. Take your foot from the inside and then glue your knees back together. And then you're going to reach your right arm up. Okay, I have a strap in mine right now. and you're gonna kick your left foot into your left hand. Okay, now if you wanna use the strap, you're gonna take your the loop of your strap around your left foot. And then you're gonna flip your hand so it faces up and holds the strap. Okay? Because eventually what you're gonna do is let me get my balance here. You're gonna bring your elbow up, and then your right hand is gonna join your left on the strap. Both elbows point up, and then as you walk your hands down your strap and you kick into your leg, maybe your hands can reach your foot. And if they do, you hold on to the top of your foot with your both hands. And that's King Dancer pose. And that's why we did all of that shoulder opening and quad opening. Okay, and release. And then we'll switch sides. Okay, so first option, stand on your left foot. Take your right hand, flip it open, palm faces up. Take your foot from the inside. So kick your foot up, take it from the inside, glue your knees together. A little wobbly here, okay? Bring your left arm up and start to kick your foot into your hand. Okay, option for the strap. Take your strap, your loop around your right foot, and then kick your foot behind you. Palm faces up, hold your strap, and then elbow faces up. Take your left arm up and over like you're doing cow face arms. Take hold of your strap. Start to walk your hands down your strap, and then kick your foot into your strap. And then maybe someday, your hands reach your foot. For me, today's not that day. And when you're ready, release. Okay, so that's a pose I'm personally working toward in my practice. I get a little bit locked up in my shoulders, and that's why a strap can be really handy, because at least you can be in the position of King Dancer, which is again your hands clasping your foot like so behind your head. Okay. So let's make our way back to downward facing dog, and now we'll do King Pigeon on the floor. You can take a vinyasa if you want and step back to plank, Chaturanga, or you can just come to downward facing dog. All right, so take your right leg high, come into half pigeon on the right side. All right, so let's take the spine strengthener first. Just getting a little bit of everything into our yoga practice today. So walk your hands back towards your hips, shoulders over your hips, reach through the crown of your head, and then reach your hands back. Stay upright, squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your triceps. And release your hands back toward the floor. So we're going to come into mermaid pose first, so I'm just going to bring you through a couple of different options on your way. You can take any option that works for you on your way to King Pigeon. So bend your left leg, and I'm going to give you this variation first. You can take your hand to the outside this time of your left ankle, and then bring your right hand to the inside of your ankle. So you have a grip around your ankle. Now flex your toes back and then kick your foot back to expand your chest. Okay, that's option variation number 1. Nice chest opener. Actually, it feels really, really good. All right, so option number 2 is mermaid pose. So now take your left hand to the inside of your left foot and start to slide your left foot to your elbow crease. Oops, slippery again, okay? To your elbow crease. All right, and now you're gonna face your left palm toward the front of your mat, fingers face up. Take your right arm, reach it up and over, clasp, and flip and clasp your fingers. And then take your head to the inside of your right arm. Okay, so this is where our cow face arms came in handy for opening up for mermaid pose. Okay, so that's option or variation number 2. And then for king pigeon, and once again, I'm not able to do it without a strap, but I'm going to show you with a strap. You can take your strap around your foot, and it's going to be the same position as king dancer. So you're going to take the strap, palm face up, and then your elbow is going to come up. Your other arm is going to reach for your strap, okay, and take hold of your strap. So elbows up, get a grip on your strap, and then you can start to walk your hands down the back of your strap and draw your foot in, and maybe eventually your hands reach your foot, and they would be holding onto your foot in the same way that they were in king dancer pose. Okay, so it's same arm position. And release. So you definitely got the hip stretch as we went through those 3 variations. And of course, you can just take the variation that works for you and hold it. I'm just taking the strap off of my foot. Step your way back to down dog and pedal out your legs. So on the other side, lift your left leg up, half pigeon. Take the spine strengthener first. So walk your hands back in line with your hips. Lift through the crown of your head, and then reach your fingertips back. So squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your triceps, and reach. And release. So variation number 1, bend your right leg, take your foot from the outside, reach your left arm around, take your foot from the inside, or your ankle actually. Press your foot into a flex, hold tightly around your ankle, and then kick your foot so you get the chest expansion. Feels really good. So you're just using the power of your own leg to open your chest and shoulders. Variation number 2, mermaid. Take your foot from the inside and then just start to slide your foot into your elbow crease. Palm faces forward, fingers face up. Left hand up and over, flip, grab, clasp your hands, and then take your head to the inside of your left arm. And variation number 3, take your strap around your foot. And then face your elbow up. Take your other arm to the back of your strap, and then start to walk your hands down your strap. Maybe your hands reach your foot. And and release. Enjoying the big city sounds of Tamarindo. Release the strap if you have one around your foot, and then step back down dog so you can pedal out your feet. And just shake and wiggle your hips. And make your way toward a seat and onto your back. Feet flat to the floor, heels in toward hips. Hands alongside the body. I'm going to take bridge with chest expansion, so lift your hips off the floor. Interlace your hands underneath your tail, and then roll onto your shoulders. Keep your chin away from your chest. Keep a lot of length in the back of your neck. And breathe. And release. Take your feet to mat distance apart. Bring your arms to goal post and just windshield wiper your legs. When your knees come back toward the right, rest them on the ground. And then look to the left. Come back to center, release your knees to the left, and gaze to the right. Knees to center. And knees to chest. Hold here in Apanasana or Happy Baby Pose. Rock side to side. Squeeze it in one more time, and Shavasana. Release your legs long, feet fall open, palms face up. Close your eyes. Take a breath in through your nose, hold it at the top. Let it go through your mouth. And rest. Let go of your breath. Release the entire weight of your body into the floor. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana for at least another 7 to 10 minutes if you have the time. When you're done with your Shavasana, make your way out of the pose slowly, coming first onto your side and then pressing up to a seat. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts and your words and your heart. Namaste.